Hi Isaac, it's Grandma Suzanne here again. Now the sound on the last one didn't come out so well, so I hope that it does on this one. I'm going to move it a little closer because as you remember, in the last one I told you that I couldn't exactly put it on my lap because Munchie is right there. Malcolm was in the window, but guess where he is now? Getting a bath from sweet Gabby, and Maisie is nearby. Wait a second here. Trying to get this there. There you go. Okay, let's read this book now. And then I'll get up and start my day. But what a great way to start it, reading another book to my little Isaac. This one is called It's Probably Penny by Laureen Leedy. There's a cute little cat there with the person drawing it doesn't realize that cats don't need glasses, bows in their hair, or little furry studded collars because of the simple reason that they're already beautiful. And Munchie just came, so I'll move it closer. Now this is a children's book that exposes you to some ideas in math. And they have a lot of that because for some reason, people don't like math as much as they should. So they try to fix that with books. Great idea. But even if you love math like we do, they're so fun. It's Probably Penny, written and illustrated by Laureen Leedy. I'm sure they think that's funny to have. Actually, I don't think it's a cat. I think it's a dog because of the snout. I'm not sure. Yeah, cats don't have tails like that. That's a little dog. Sorry about being mixed up there, and shall we say, a cat owner. Anyway, on with the book, away with the distractions. My name is Lisa. We're writing down what our teacher might wear today, but I think he has a surprise for us. What will Mr. Jason wear today? Write your predictions below. A shirt, pants, socks, a tie. Yeah, all of those are kind of predictable. He is wearing a totally silly hat. I don't usually wear hats, he says, but as you can see, it is possible. He has to take it off because we can't stop laughing. So it's not probable that he would wear a crazy hat, but it is possible. And to show them that, he did. Okay, Mr. Jason puts some jelly beans on the table. He closes his eyes and asks, do you predict I can pick a green one? We say he will for sure because all the jelly beans are green. He picks one and then he eats it. Now he makes a group with just a few green ones. So we say he might be able to get a green jelly bean if he just picks one. We make sure his eyes are really closed. He picks a red and eats that too. The next bunch has 0 green ones, so we say he can't pick any green beans. It's impossible. He tries anyway and gets an orange one. Mr. Jason must be hungry. So in this one, the probability of getting a green one is 1 because there's only green and 1 is the highest certainty, 1 out of 1. In this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the probability of getting a green one here is 3 over 11, or 3/11ths, which is in percentage would be a little less than 33%. So maybe a little less than 30%. Okay, now this one is 0%. So you see it's between 0 and 1. Percentages fall between 0 and 1. Yep. Now the next group of jelly beans is bigger, but there's just 1 green. We predict there's only a tiny chance he can pick green. He gets purple and he eats that one. Oh, and says it tastes like grapes. So this time there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think I might have counted one. But anyway, it's 1 out of 17, which is an even smaller chance that he'll get it. And here, there's 5, so the chance is 1 in 5. This time there's 1 of each color. The last group has 3 greens, 1 red, 2 oranges, and 4 purples, though the chances of getting each color are unequal. He asks us which color has the highest chance of being picked. We say purple because there are 4 purples out of 10 jelly beans in all. But he gets a green one at last. Somebody asks, "Why are we doing all this?" Mr. Jason smiles and says it has to do with our homework for the weekend. We all groan, but he lets us eat the rest of the jelly beans, so that helps. Now, I'd like to point out here that the message that's given is that jelly beans are more fun than homework. And I'd like to point out that they're wrong. I don't like jelly beans. I love homework. So, this inculcation of the homework is demonic myth is very wrong, and it starts early. You're 4 months old, and they're already bombarding you with that message. So can I just say, we are going to have so much fun with your homework. We're going to do extra homework because homework is fun. Homework is fun. It's stuff you get to do at home. You don't have to wait till school the next morning. You get to do it at home. What's not fun about that? You get to do it even before you go to school. Believe you me, we're going to be doing plenty of probability stuff before you're even 1. So, hello, whatever. But we'll be on the lookout for this dastardly message that homework is to be frowned upon and jelly beans are to be extolled. Well, they're not extolling it, to be fair. They're just saying, oh joy, jelly beans. But I got to tell you, when you taste them, you're going to say, what the heck are they talking about? These things are yucky. But enough on that. Oh, why is my hand red like that? I didn't know I was bleeding. I didn't know I had a scratch. It doesn't hurt. Maybe it was blackberry juice or something like that, but who knows? But I'm not bleeding, and it wasn't from a jelly bean. So we're going to move on. Amazing. Probability homework due Monday. Remember to write down your predictions first, then find out the result and record it. Number 1, will, might, can't. Predict 3 events for this weekend. 1 that will happen, 1 that might happen, and 1 that can't happen. Okay? We could do that right now. What's 1 that will happen this weekend? So simple. Your mom and dad are going to look at you and smile so big their hearts could almost burst. They're filled with so much love. That will happen. 1 that might happen. One that might happen. It might rain. Might rain. What are some other ones that might happen? Nellie and Julep might growl at each other. They do that sometimes. Okay, now let's think of 1 thing that can't happen. Well, it won't snow because it's going to be too warm. That can't happen. It has to be cold to snow. There's a lot of things that can't happen. Let's just think of 1 more. Let's think of 1 more baby-related one. Well, 1 thing that won't happen is you won't. It's a safe bet to say that you won't say frog in Russian because you don't speak Russian. You say frog. You'll probably say gunui, gunui, gunui. My cats are getting frightened at the high pitch in my voice. I mean, they're used to the high pitch, as your dad will tell you, but I think the suddenness of it startled them. Grenouille. But in Russian, I don't think you're going to say that. Back to the story. Okay, that was the first set of the homework. The second set is tiny chance or impossible. Think of two, oops, sorry, I'm just showing you these things. Think of two different events, one that has a tiny chance of happening, one that is impossible. Explain why these can or can't happen. Okay, tiny chance or impossible. Let's think of one that has a tiny chance of happening. I shouldn't be having dead space here. I should be able to think of something that has a tiny chance of happening. I suppose there's a tiny chance that little Charlie might feel sick in his tum again. Hopefully it's a very tiny chance. Hopefully it's impossible. So let's think of something a little better. There's a tiny chance. There's a tiny chance of a rainbow, because a rainbow is when you get rain when the sun is out. It doesn't happen often, but it could. One that is impossible. Well, we said that snow is impossible. It's also impossible that the rain would go up, because that's against gravity, and you know all about gravity, so we'll move on. Okay, equal chances. Write about an event that has three or more equally possible outcomes. Okay, well, let's say that we take a bowl and we put in 6 of one kind of dog biscuit, 6 of another kind of dog biscuit, and 6 of a third kind. Then, when we reach in, getting the first kind, or the second kind, or the third kind, it's equally possible. So there's 3 equally possible outcomes to get one of the first one, second one, or the third. Unequal chances. Tell about an event with several possible outcomes that are not equally likely. Put them in order from the most likely to happen to the least. Well, we could go with the dog biscuit thing, but it is getting a bit tiresome, and it's a little bit like jelly beans, but much more palatable. Don't quote me on that. So, unequal, what could we do besides that? Well, I mean, we could pick things that aren't quantifiable, but that are equally unlikely. For example, it's more likely that your dad will say the word frog to you in Chinese than in French, which is grenouille, but he's not fond of French, and he's very fond of and very able at Chinese. So it's far more likely that when he says the word frog to you, he will say it in Chinese rather than French. It's less likely that I will say it in Chinese. In fact, that's highly improbable, perhaps impossible. But it's more likely that I will say it in French. Grenouille! 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 You see what we're saying here. Okay, so you can do this weekend. Think of things that are unequal that could happen, and then put them in order from the most likely to happen to the least likely. Okay, moving on. It's a good thing we have the whole weekend. Why? We just did this homework. You're 4 months old, and we just did this homework in less than 7 minutes. I think they're raising weak kids with this book. It's a good thing we have the whole weekend. My friend Rosa says, I predict you're going to use your dog Penny. Probably, I reply. Well, that's good. But let me just pause here, because we'll continue this in the next one. But let me just say that before you're 2, we're going to be doing rather exciting probability experiments. So I mean, it's fine for these kids if this is enough for them for a weekend, but let me just say that we're going to do a little more than this. We're going to have some serious probability experiments that are going to be quite fun. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, oops, I'm a little bit over 15 minutes, so I'm going to sign off now. I love you so much, my little guy. Sorry for this spot on my hand. I love you so much. See you later. Bye-bye.